Good after. Well, no, it's still morning. It's still morning. What is going on? Hello, hello, hello. I am online to talk to my buyers today. I am online to talk with my buyers today about this NAR settlement that you've been hearing about on the news, that you have questions about. I am Trish Myrick. Just in case you do not know me, you're just like, who is this? Who is she talking about a NAR settlement? What does NAR even stand for? National Association of Realtors. I am a realtor in the Atlanta, Georgia market. I have been a realtor for 16 years. And so I have seen a ton of changes in the Atlanta real estate market. And so we had this huge NAR settlement that started August 17th, which was Saturday. And so I wanted to let the smoke clear before your girl got online to talk about the NAR settlement and what it means for you. Now, the title of this video is NAR Settlement Chat for Buyers. I did a separate video for my sellers. So if you are a seller, I need you to click on the link that says NAR Settlement Chat for Sellers. I did a totally separate video. I wanted to break the information up. But if you want to know because you want to buy a home too, listen, Mr. and Miss Seller, you can watch this one too. But I made it specifically for the home buyer. You're more than welcome to watch both of them. But if you are selling your home as well, I need you to watch that video too on the NAR Settlement Chat for Sellers, okay? Again, I am Trish Myrick. I am a realtor in the Atlanta market. Been in the real estate business since it collapsed back in 2008. That's when I got my license. I know, right? Like, girl, what is you doing? But we did it. We made it. And 16 years later, here we are. Okay. And so I just wanted to jump on. Let's talk about this NAR settlement, that y'all have questions about. You've been sending on the news. You have comments about it. Please drop your comments in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer any questions about it. But the very first thing that we're going to talk about today, as a realtor, that means that I'm a member of a board, right? So you have a real estate agent. They're licensed. They're not a member of a board. And then you have realtors who are members of a board. Okay. They have different boards, Atlanta, Gwinnett, different boards of realtors. I am a member. I am considered a realtor. So with that being said, I'm also a member of the National Association of Realtors and the Georgia Association of Realtors. Okay. And so the very first thing that I want to discuss are the benefits of using a realtor as a buyer. In my previous video, I went through the benefits as a seller. And this one, we're going over the benefits of using a realtor as a buyer. And so the very first thing is that we can help you identify properties that meet your criteria. We can help you identify off-market properties as well. We are available to answer your questions about properties, market conditions, and neighborhoods. Now, let me put a clause on that. We cannot tell you if a neighborhood is good or bad because that's considered steering. And we don't steer anybody to live in different neighborhoods, okay? And so it is also a buyer responsibility to find out some of this information for themselves by driving by different times of the day. Your girl Trish is going to give you that advice. Hey, go by on the weekends, go by on the Saturday morning and see, your neighbors, your potential neighbors cutting the grass. So those are little nuggets that I give my buyers, okay? I have lockbox access and I am able to show you properties that you want to see. And so we have different types of lock boxes. We have the super lock boxes. Those are the blue ones. We have combination lock boxes. We got keypads now. I mean, we done came a long way. We used to have a little lockbox thing that kind of reminds you of a calculator. And so we used to punch our PIN number in and we used to go like that to get in the houses. But now we have infrared technology on our Bluetooth technology on our phones that help us open up the super lock boxes. But, if it's a combo box, the listing agent has to give us the combo access. And so that's information that we get prior to showing you a home. We can make you aware of any special stipulations concerning a home that we may want to add to the contract. So One of the biggest special stipulations that some of my buyers add is to make sure a house is in broom clean condition. Like, get all your stuff out, Mr. Miss Seller. Make sure this house is in broom clean condition so that when I move in, I'm not having to move out somebody else's trash, okay? And so number 6, we can provide you with the contract forms that you will need to make an offer on a property, as well as any other actions. That's an offer, a counter offer, special stipulations, termination agreements. We have all types of forms that can assist you. These are not forms that are readily available to the public. You have to be a realtor to have these forms, to write your offer on these forms. And so that is one of the benefits of using a realtor and why it is important that you use one. Number 7, we can answer basic questions about the GAR forms. That is non-legal. Now, if you're asking us the legal question, we're going to connect you to our real estate attorneys that can explain it to you and give you the legal advice that you need. But us as realtors, we don't do any legal advice. We can advise you what it says, but if you need to go in depth because maybe it's an issue that's, a little deeper, we're more than happy to connect you with one of our real estate attorneys, okay? We can recommend a real estate attorney, as I just said. We can help you negotiate the best price for the property that you want to purchase. So just like with the seller, we offer a comparative market analysis. Even with you as a buyer, we do another comparative market analysis because we want to make sure the price that you're offering is consistent with the comps in the area, okay? So even as a buyer, that's something that we offer to you as well. We can make you aware of the non-legalese of certain laws affecting real estate transactions, such as fair housing and lead-based paint. Those are two of the biggest ones when it comes to fair housing. And when a house is built prior to 1978, you have to sign a lead-based paint exhibit, even if the house has been renovated, because there could still be some traces. Not to say that there are, but there's a disclosure that has to be signed. We can recommend various people that you may need help. You may need to consult during your real estate transaction, such as home inspectors, lenders, lawyers, termite inspectors, engineers, roofers, painters, plumbers. Like, we are the plug. We have those people at our fingertips to recommend to you. So as a realtor, that's something else that we provide our buyers. We can help explain to you the costs and what you will likely have in buying your home other than the purchase price. And so we know when you do an offer, you got to have your earnest money. You got to have your inspection money. You got to have money for your appraisal. And you'll get with your lender on your down payment money and how much that is. And then your lender is going to tell you about how much you're going to have to bring in your cash to close, including your closing costs, right? But closing costs is something that as realtors, we can also negotiate in your contract. So we advise you on what that looks like. And so that's one of the benefits and services of using a realtor. We can explain the different steps in the home buying process. I have home buyer seminars all online on my YouTube channel, y'all. Just go to Trish Sells ATL, go to my YouTube. I guarantee you it's a home buyer seminar over there because I do one every year. Let's see. I can help you sell a house. So if you have a house that you need to sell in order to buy another house, I can assist you with that. I can help you manage time limits for applying for home loans, inspecting the property, negotiating repairs, and closing on a property. Listen, contracts have deadlines. I know, I have some of my clients, and God bless you all, because I'm a believer too. And they say, well, Trish, I got to pray on it. Listen, we love the Lord, and he do things decent and in order, which means that we gonna pray, but we got to do it within a specified time frame, okay? Because Trish want to keep you on track. I have to protect your earnest money. I have to protect your contract, okay? And so I just wanted to get that out of the way to let you know, we want to wait, and sometimes I have people who want to hum and haw, and They want to do it when they feel it's right. When you're dealing with contracts, it's not about that, okay? We got to make sure that we are moving in the deadline that we need to move in within, okay? I can help you draft any special stipulations. So let's say we get ready to do an inspection, but when we toured the property, the utilities were off. And so we're not going to start our due diligence period until the seller has the utilities on. And that's a special stipulation. The due diligence period shall start when all utilities are on and operable, right? So those are things that as realtors, we protect you, okay? And so we can also advise you on how much earnest money that you need to put down based on market conditions. We give you a number. We advise you. That doesn't mean you have to go with it, but it would behoove you to listen to us, okay? And then we can help you understand the settlement statement when you get ready to close. The closing attorney is going to send a HUD-1 settlement statement. It is a line item, line for line, where all monies are going in the real estate transaction. You're going to see your earnest money again. You're going to see your closing costs. You're going to see the attorney fees. You're going to see the lender fees. You're going to see what the seller is getting. You're going to see what you're having to bring to the closing table. So we also explain that in depth with you. We can help you communicate effectively with the seller should an issue arises. Us as realtors, we're your liaison. So I would be communicating to the seller through their listing agent. The seller would be communicating to me through their agent. So that's how we, if any issues arise, we create a win-win when it comes to the closing table, okay? We can help you coordinate and communicate with the other various experts, with your appraiser, with your inspector. You know, if you have to have somebody to come in to give you a quote on work that may be done, we help you communicate and coordinate all of that. And we can help you avoid identity and wire theft. We make sure that you verify, you call the attorney, you don't open up these emails, because we have people that fish and that scam. And so we help you with that too. Hey, Trish, I got this email. It looks kind of funny. That's when you call us as agents. We need you to give us a call, okay? We need you to give us a call. So that way, that keeps you away from identity and wire fraud. And honestly, the banks too is checks and balances. So we check you on this end, but believe it or not, the banks have gotten hip to wire fraud as well. And so we all work together for the benefit of you, Mr. and Miss Buyer. So let's get on with the settlement statement. I mean, not the settlement statement, but Lord have mercy. Let's get on with the NAR settlement and what it means to you as a home buyer. And so if you want a copy of what this means to you, I have a printout. You can call or text 478-410-7142, 478-410-7142, or you can send me an email, trishsellsatl@gmail.com, trishsellsatl@gmail.com. Trish Sells ATL. That's my handle on everything. Hey, Shayna Maria. Yeah, identity theft. It's rough. It's rough. Make sure you call the all of the credit agencies, Experience, TransUnion, and what's the other one? Equifax. Put a hold on your credit account. Put a freeze on it until you can get things straightened out. But as when you're purchasing a home, that's one of the things that we try to, make sure that doesn't happen to our buyers. So let's talk about what this settlement means, okay? As buyers, I know I love y'all, but I'm going to go on and say this. Some buyers been doing stuff out of order. So I can appreciate this agreement, this new settlement, and what it's meaning for you as a buyer, okay? And so it means that as a buyer, you will sign a written settlement before touring a home. You will sign a written agreement. I keep saying settlement, y'all. You will sign a written agreement with your agent before touring a home. Gone are the days oh, we're not signing anything because the agent over here said she'll show me a property and I ain't got to sign nothing with her. Those days are gone bye. You will either sign a touring agreement that has an expiration date on it that gives you time to make a decision, or you will sign a buyer brokerage agreement that officially hires that realtor as your realtor. Okay? So there's touring agreements now, and we have buyer brokerage agreements, which we have always had. The touring agreement allows you as a buyer, you may not want to, sign on with the agent yet. You just want them to help you tour, but you still got to sign a touring agreement, okay? Or you're going to sign your buyer brokerage agreement, which hires that realtor as your realtor to represent you in that real estate transaction, okay? Before signing this agreement, you have to reflect on the terms that you have negotiated with that agent. There are terms in the touring agreement. I think the maximum is 7 days before you got to barbecue a meal do and decide if you want this person to be your agent, okay? And so if you don't, then the agreement expires and that person is not obligated to show you anything, okay? But if that's your agent and you have signed a buyer brokerage agreement and they are representing you, it's their responsibility to make sure that they show you property, okay? The buyer agent agreement must include 4 components, okay? 4 components. It's the disclosure or the amount or rate of compensation that the real estate agent will receive or how this amount will be determined. So yes, buyers, in the past, the seller has always taken care of real estate commission / compensation. But now the ball is also in your court to provide that amount, okay? Or provide an amount to your real estate agent. And that's something that you're going to have to negotiate with your agent, okay? Compensation that is objective. That's the second component. It can be a flat fee, a percentage, or an hourly rate. But it cannot be open-ended saying the buyer broker compensation shall be whatever the seller is offering to the buyer. You can't do that because we don't even know if your seller for the house that you're buying is going to pay your agent, right? And so now buyers, you have a responsibility to make sure that you have some cash for your realtor, okay? Okay? The third component, a term that prohibits the agent from receiving compensation for brokerage services from any source that exceeds the amount or rate agreed to in the agreement with the buyer. So it must include a term that prohibits the agent from receiving compensation from any other source that exceeds the amount or rate agreed to in the agreement with the buyer. That's why it's important that you get with a realtor, because we have access to these forms that you are going to need to protect yourself and to protect the realtor, okay? And then it must be conspicuous, not an inconspicuous. Everything is transparent now, okay? So it has to be a conspicuous statement that broker fees and commissions are fully negotiable and not set by law. And they've always been negotiable. They've never been set by law. This whole statement was about telling everybody that they're negotiable, they're not set by law, and the seller does not have to pay your realtor. The seller does not have to pay. So it will behoove you to put some coins to the side, all right, and negotiate with your realtor on, their costs, and y'all sit down and y'all talk about it, right? But gone are the days where buyers depend on sellers to pay their realtors, okay? This is what this settlement has been about. The written agreement applies if the written agreement that's needed applies both in person and live virtual home tours. And so we have a lot of out-of-state buyers, especially in Georgia. They do virtual tours. So even if it's a virtual tour, you either have to have a touring agreement or a buyer brokerage agreement, okay? Now, if you attend an open house, you don't need an agreement. You can just go to the open house. You do not need a written agreement if you're just speaking to an agent at an open house and asking them about their services. You do not need an agreement to do that. You can still open house Saturdays, open house Sundays. Some people host open houses during the week. You do not need an agreement for that. Now, here's the thing, but preparation is key, okay? The seller may agree to offer compensation to your agent, Mr. and Miss Buyer, okay? The seller may say, you know what? This agent is going to bring me a ready, willing, and able buyer, so I am going to give them something. This practice is permitted by the seller, but it cannot be shared on our MLS system. So a lot of times when we log in and you see a property that you like, we don't know if they're going to pay us, right? Unless the agent uploads the compensation form, which is another form that only us realtors have access to, unless that is uploaded. But if it's not, then we don't know, what the seller is offering, okay? So just to let you know that we're looking at houses, we don't know. Yes, we can ask in advance, but just to let you know, because preparation is key, listen, ask your realtor, does the seller plan to? And that's research that we have to do, and we may have to ask the listing agent. So that way it's a transparent conversation and everybody has their coins in order, okay? Now, you can still accept closing costs. That's good news. That's good news. You can still accept closing costs from the seller. Okay, those are seller concessions, also known as closing costs. You can still accept those. Sellers can still offer that to you. So that's no issue. If you want to request, you did your inspection, you found some stuff out. Hey, Mr. and Miss Seller, can you give me some closing costs because I'm going to do these repairs after I buy this house? We can still do that. Okay, so this settlement does not affect your ability to request closing costs. This practice went into these things went into practice on Saturday, August 17th. As I said, I wanted to let the smoke clear. And so that's what has happened. And I just wanted to jump online and talk to you guys about it. Now, what the settlement does not change, okay? It does not change the fact that realtors are here to help you navigate the home buying process. It does not change the fact that compensation for real estate service has always been negotiable. It's just not free, right? So it's always been negotiable, okay? And so we must abide by the Realtor Code of Ethics and Georgia law, and you have choices, okay? You can work with an agent to fully understand your full range of choices when buying a home, which will help you make the best possible decision for your needs, okay? And so these are 9 ways as a realtor we support our buyers by helping to order essential services, initiate appraisals, title searches, and necessary surveys. This happens when you go under contract and we send your contract to your lender and to the closing attorney. We give you inspection guidance. We have I'm saying Rolodex. I'm sorry to tell my age. I ain't that young, but I ain't that old. I'm not that old, but Rolodex is something, back in the day people used to have, but we have contacts in our phones, including inspectors, to help get an inspector out in a timely manner. Title insurance guidance that typically comes from the closing attorney, but because we connect you with the closing attorney, this is one of the benefits of using a realtor. Loan funding confirmation. We confirm the status of the loan funding, so we get updates from your lender. Terms verification, we review addendums and amendments. It says alterations, but we call them amendments when it comes to your contract. And closing statement review. Remember that HUD-1 settlement statement that we briefly spoke about? When you get ready to purchase a home, you have a HUD settlement statement. And so it's a line item for item, dollar for dollar, what you're getting, what the seller's getting, what you're bringing cash to close, what the seller is receiving when they leave the closing table. All of that is transparent. We as realtors assist with closing preparation. So that's notifying all parties of the closing details, any changes, any forms that we need, utility transfer reminders, sending you that little reminder, hey, don't forget to start your utilities, right? So we assist you with reminding you for that. And then final walkthrough. This is vital because we want to make sure the same way that we toured the property, it is in the same condition when you get ready to purchase. So 24 hours prior to closing, you do a final walkthrough. And some, for some of my buyers, we even do the day of closing. If we have an afternoon closing, we'll go do our final walkthrough in the morning to make sure that the property is conveyed in the manner in which we toured it in. And so we schedule that and we accompany you, Mr. and Miss Buyer, during that final walkthrough. And so those are the benefits and ways that us as realtors support you as buyers. I will not belabor you. I just wanted to hop on because as a realtor, it's my responsibility to let you guys know what is going on. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Please drop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them. If you want to ask me something offline, or if you're ready, you're in the market to purchase or buy a home, you can call or text 478-410-7142. 478-410-7142. And you can email me at trishsellsatl@gmail.com. trishsellsatl@gmail.com. All right, y'all. I will not hold you. It's Monday, but I wanted you to have this information about the NAR, the National Association of Realtors settlement, and what that meant for you as a home buyer. I hope that you have a blessed day, and it was a pleasure being online with you today. Take care.